Hey everybody. I already messed up. Guys, guess what? We got another one. I think I'm going crazy in the heat. It is so hot out here. I have a good one for you today. This is the Dreame A3 All-Wheel Drive Pro 3500. This one will take care of 0.86 of an acre. But you need to ask yourself, why would I choose this mower over all the other premium mowers that Kevin on Lawn & Order Texas Edition has reviewed? Well, that's a good question. We're gonna go over the specs of this thing. We're gonna take it out of this box, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. You can tell Dreame puts a lot of work into their mower if this much work goes into the gift box. So let's see what's inside and check it out. First thing that stood out to me was the presentation. Dreame clearly puts a lot of thought into both the packaging and the mower itself. From the digital display and onboard controls to the suspension, large drive wheels and dual blade cutting system, it definitely gives the impression of a premium robotic mower. Okay, so now that we've got all of the beauty shots done inside the garage, we're gonna go ahead and set up the charger base, which I always set up right here in my garage in this taped off section. We're gonna connect it to the app. We're gonna see how the Dreame reacts to mapping. I always place them in the same spot for testing, right here. Now I showed you taking a picture of the QR code, which is underneath the cover. Since I already have it linked and connected to my 2.4 Wi-Fi, not your 5, your 2.4, what that means is going into your modem, just rename the things. That's all you gotta do. All ready to go before the Texas heat hits. Humidity is already out here. That's the whole reason to have these. You can be sitting inside in the AC, the mowers go around and do everything for me. It's nice. You go to your map and you start mapping.
Robot is leaving station.
One feature Dreame highlights is its OmniSense 3.0 mapping system. My property presents a unique challenge because sections of my lawn transition directly into an open field without fences or other defined boundaries. And if you do make a mistake while you're mapping, there is an undo button on the app and it'll follow the exact steps that you just did and just go backwards. Works out pretty well. So there you go, confirm. That's all you gotta do to map. That was all manual mapping. Then you can go in, and I always recommend after you map, go in and set up your no-go zones. You can change the boundary, set a path between front yards and backyards, which I'll do now. And I'll let it auto map over here. Set starting point. There it goes. Boom. Just one note, when you hit auto map, it does spin around. So make sure there's enough room. I'm gonna hit pause, manual assistance. Okay, continue auto mapping, a manual assistance. Very nice. So I don't want it to mow this area. So I'm gonna manually map it to the fence, and then I'll re-hit auto map and it'll take over. And then if you need to clear something like a driveway, if it's 2 inches, a little bit above, clears it without issue. No big deal. Okay, so let's be honest, these premium mowers aren't inexpensive. So security is important. So as soon as you lift this mower, the alarm will sound. It's a very loud alarm. It alerts you on your phone that the mower's been moved. It also includes pin protection. The mower is compatible with Apple's AirTag. So that's good peace of mind, knowing that your expensive piece of equipment can be tracked and found. That's how loud it is. The truth, it's not taking off very much, but like I always say, maintenance mowers, these are maintaining your property. These are not mowing a field. You see, it's just taking the tops off. That's what you want, especially when it's hot like it is in Texas right now. For Texas lawns, we deal with a long mowing season and we have some extreme heat. Combine that with thick Bermuda grass, this mower and the way it powers through and the longevity of this battery really makes it a standout. One thing I wanted to spend a little more time testing was the A3's all-wheel drive system and obstacle avoidance. Since a lot of us don't really have perfectly flat lawns, let's see how it handles some uneven terrain. The A3 All-Wheel Drive Pro uses an all-wheel drive system that helps maintain traction as the terrain changes. On this slope, it climbed confidently without wheel spin or hesitation, keeping a steady pace all the way to the top. Even if you're not mowing brush like this, you can manually turn on the blades and drive it around, cutting certain areas that you wouldn't want it to drive on its own. It also remains stable while changing direction on the incline, which is just as important as climbing it. Obstacle avoidance was also solid during my testing. The mower consistently recognized any objects I placed in its path without making unnecessary contact. Like most robotic mowers, it may still make light contact with certain objects before changing direction, but overall, it navigated obstacles really well. Once I was satisfied with how it handled slopes and obstacles, it was time to see what really surprised me. This thing flies. One thing I noticed almost immediately was the mowing speed. The A3 All-Wheel Drive Pro moves significantly faster than many other premium robotic mowers I've tested. Also features a wide 15.8-inch dual blade cutting system, allowing it to cover more ground with each pass while contributing to the mower's impressive overall efficiency. This mower moves. That is a quick mower. Of course, it's on rush, that's its top end speed. But I gotta tell you, it's striping, as you can see on the drone footage. 1. 2, it's moving like a freaking cheetah. It is going a little bit outside of my boundary. I did not map it to this point. Look at the stripes. Look at the speed of this thing. For a robot mower, that is quick. That could be twice as fast as some other mowers. Some mowers are really fast, some are really slow. This one is up there. I always compare it to my walking pace. This is my normal walking pace. So that is good, Dreamy. You're moving along good. And not to say this is the speed everyone needs. You can change it. They've got 3 different speeds, but you can change it on the app. You guys can see it going. Look at the stripes. That's impressive. Okay, let's go over some pros and cons of the Dreame A3 Pro 3500. Now this applies to all the Dreame A3s. You can get them in different capacities. This one just happens to be the 0.86 of an acre 3500. I tell you what, look at the cut. Look at the cut. It really does a nice job, and it is mowing through a bunch of leaves we had a storm blow through. You cannot beat those stripes. The stripes are amazing. The thing is fast. It just sprints. Of course, you can turn that off if you need it to go slower. It is a very nice looking design. I love the industrial design. They did a really nice job with it. Use the colors. Even the stop button is contoured into the top. It's a very nice mower. It does a very good job cutting. You can schedule it. The app has endless possibilities. You can merge the map. You can split the map. You can add pathways. Just tons and tons of options. I like the lights on it as well. I've not witnessed the LiDAR getting hot and acting erratic. That is always something to watch with LiDAR mowers. Sometimes it does happen. and the sun in Texas is just brutal. But I've not witnessed that yet with Dreame's technology. So that's a real big plus. I am very surprised by the omnidirectional wheel. It's not something I would anticipate working as well as they do, but they really do work well. The calibration takes a little bit of time. So when it backs out of the charger, it does sit there for a little bit. It does show you progress on your app, so you know what it's doing. It just takes a few minutes, not a huge deal. When it does need to calibrate in the yard, it does spin around. So if there's obstacles, maybe rocks, it will hit those until it realizes it's hitting something, then it corrects. One big thing I have that I've noticed is the app shows centimeters and millimeters. Even though I've changed it to square feet, it's still showing millimeters and centimeters. And I have not found a way to correct that yet. They have that in their system as of right now. And one thing I did show that was a negative was it going outside my border to the right of my yard where there is no border. It did go past what I had told it to do. And my last thing would be the manual drive. It's one finger control, which as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult. So I just prefer a two-finger control. And another advantage I wanted to mention, it rained, it poured. We had a storm blow through, and I'm able to mow my yard straight thereafter. It's been one day. Because these things are so lightweight, relatively lightweight, you can just sit it out to mow. You can set it out to mow right after a storm. It won't make tracks, it won't make ruts, but forget about it with a zero-turn or a garden tractor. That is one huge advantage to these robo mowers. Garage that I usually put on my mowers to keep them a little bit shaded from the heat. You gotta remember these things are out in the sun mowing. Your LiDAR is gonna get hot, your battery's gonna get hot, so it comes back, it charges, things start to cool down a little bit. Maybe the shade of a tree or a tinted garage like this works really well. Okay guys, so final thoughts on the Dreame A3 AWD Pro, 3500 in this model. What do I think? Overall, I came away very impressed. The last thing that stood out to me was the speed. This mower simply covers ground quick. After just a couple of hours, it had already completed most of my front yard. It just kept going and going and going. So the battery use is very minimal. And the striping it left was unbelievable. Honestly, it surprised me. So the lawn looked fantastic. The setup was also very straightforward. No wires, no RTK, you just pair the mower, install the charger, and you start creating the map, which was very simple. And because my property opens up into a field without defined borders, I did have to switch to manual mapping in a couple places, but that's more of a characteristic of my lawn than a criticism of the mower. Now with any product I review, there were a few things I like to see improved. The biggest one for me is the Edge Master. That's a feature on this mower where the blades move over to the side and edge your lawn. Since I mow my Bermuda at 8 centimeters, this one reads centimeters, the edger edges at 3 centimeters. And it creates a noticeably shorter strip along the edge of my lawn. I'd really like to see Dreame tie that edge cutting height to the selected mowing height, or at least make it user adjustable in a future update, because that's exactly the kind of thing I look for during my testing. Now I know a lot of you are also wondering how it compares to the mighty Navamo X430. Both all-wheel drive, both big mowers. I've spent a lot of time with both mowers. The Navamo does have a slightly wider cutting width, but the Dreame is noticeably faster. If mowing efficiency and getting the lawn covered as quickly as possible are the most important to you, then that's where the Dreame really shines. So would I recommend the Dreame A3 Pro? Yes, I would. Now, is it perfect? No. I don't think any robot mower I've tested has been perfect, but that's exactly why I test these products on my own property, on my channel,
My goal is to show you what they do well and where they can improve, and help you decide if they're the right one for your lawn. So guys, if you have any questions about the Dreame A3 All-Wheel Drive Pro, leave them down in the comments below. I read every comment, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. And if you found this review helpful in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps support the channel and allows me to continue bringing you honest, hands-on reviews. So until the next one, guys, thank you for watching, and as always, see ya. Thanks, guys. That's it for this one. See ya.